Hey everybody, Matt here. I'm trying to make this video as quick as possible, but I hope you will stick around with me and watch the whole thing. I want to get the word out about something. This is for Zombie Master Ed 25. I'm going to put links to all his videos down below where you can get the full details of everything I'm talking about here. I'm also going to put a link down to blackwolfcustomglockshop.com. This is the business in question that we're going to be talking about, and its owner, Louis or Louie or whatever he calls himself. Basically, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the situation up until now, and then we'll go from there. Ed is a good guy on YouTube. He's been a buddy of mine since he's been on YouTube, I believe, or at least since he started making videos. He subscribed to me, I subscribed to him. He basically got into a situation, he lives in Florida, he got into a situation where a guy who told him he was a gunsmith, this guy, Louis or Louie, at blackwolfcustomglockshop.com, who also lives in his same area of Florida, told him, hey, he said, look, I've got a Mosin Nagant I want to sporterize. And basically they worked out a deal that in exchange for this Mosin Nagant, Ed would give him a Delton AR-15. I believe it was a Delton. So an AR-15 worth at least a good $600-700 bucks. Delton AR-15, just a basic stock, but Delton. Okay. And in return, what Ed would get is his Mosin Nagant sporterized, or at least a few things done to it towards the sporterization, and $350 back. Now, what Ed wanted him to do as far as the Mosin Nagant was to strip it down and polish the barrel. That was it. He wanted to have that stainless steel type look, okay? And he wanted him to remove the rear sight so that the existing dovetail under the sight, anybody who knows anything about Mosins knows you've got that dovetail under the rear sight, that makes a really good base for any kind of optic. You know, whether or not you want to put a red dot, turn it into a scout rifle, or you want to put a scope on it, long eye relief or something like that, whatever. That rear dovetail makes a great base for it. Pop out a couple pins, sometimes you heat it a little bit, knock it off, good to go. I make it sound much simpler than it is, but still, that's what he wanted this guy to do. And then Ed was going to do all the rest, get a bent bolt, put a new stock on it, all that. So do those two things to the Mosin, plus he gets $350 back. And this guy, whenever this guy sells his AR-15, he was giving it to the guy to put on consignment. The guy gives him $350 of it and sporterizes Mosin. That's basically the deal. Time goes by, this guy has his Mosin. You can watch the video for all the details on everything, the interactions that they had, because Ed does talk about and shows some of the emails and text messages that went in back and forth between the two of them. And basically what happened is the guy was putting it off and putting it off. By the time he gives it back to him, he says, oh, it took way more work than I thought it did, and so I can't give you the $350 back. I'm going to take the entire AR-15 as payment on this Mosin. And basically what he did to the Mosin is he Duracoated it black, and what he did was he cut the rear sight completely off, dovetail and all, and welded a 2-inch by 2-inch square plate, at least 1/4 inch thick. I don't know exactly. You can watch the video to be for sure. 2-inch by 2-inch thick plate right where that sight base used to be. Now, when he did this, now it's not real clear because you can't tell if it was from him cutting the rear sight base off or when he welded that plate on. But at some point he basically popped a hole, either cut a hole or he melted a hole into the barrel when he did this. Okay, so Ed gets his gun back, it's ruined. Now the guy refuses to give him his AR-15 back. Now, when I got involved in this was when I went to a GlockTalk.com forum. Somebody started a thread there. It was not Ed, it was somebody else completely different. Started a thread on this same company, and I got in the mix because somebody had asked about this video. And I talked to this guy personally, this Louis or Louie from Black Wolf, and basically what he was saying to me was, first off, he's not an FFL or a gunsmith, although he is partnered with a Class 3 dealer, okay, Class 3 FFL. He is personally not an FFL or a gunsmith, so that right off the bat tells me he is modifying firearms, okay, without an FFL or a gunsmith license, okay. So right there, boom. Bad idea, illegal, I mean all kinds of trouble he could get into for that. Second of all, he did not do any paperwork on this AR-15 he took in, which if it's just a private sale, no big deal, right? But because he's a business, not only that, he's a Class 3 dealer, he's a partner of a Class 3 dealer, big no-no. He didn't do any paperwork on this AR-15 he took in. Third, the guy admitted in this thread that this Mosin, he says, and I quote, well I don't quote, I don't remember exactly what it is, basically something along the lines of it was $100, 80-year-old piece of crap that already had holes in it, and it wasn't worth fixing. And my question to him was, well, if it wasn't worth fixing, why did you take it in, accept this guy's AR-15, then screw up his rifle, give it back to him, and tell him you weren't giving his AR-15? I said, you took advantage of him. You've been unethical as a businessman. I said, if you truly did think you could fix it and then you screwed up, you should have at least made it right with the customer. You know, even if you didn't buy him another Mosin, at least give him his AR-15 back. You screwed up his Mosin. You haven't given him any cash. At least make it right with the customer as best you can. His response was basically, "Fuck you." Okay. Then after a few days of going back and forth on the threads, I found out that he was an advertiser at GlockTalk.com, which I'm going to do a whole nother video on GlockTalk. An advertiser at GlockTalk.com, and because of this, he bragged to Ed that he had the thread taken down because he pays them money to advertise. Then, a few days later, this guy's talking to Ed while I'm doing my blog TV this last Wednesday, and the guy shows up in my blog TV because I told Ed while he was on the phone with me, he's like, hey, you know, he's typing to me while I'm on blog TV. Hey, the guy's calling me right now. I said, well, look, tell him to come on blog TV because I want to talk to this guy. And I want to find out why he's screwing you over like this. The guy gets into my blog TV and starts telling me things like, too bad I'm keeping the AR-15, that fat little fuck isn't getting anything out of me, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is a businessman trying to run a business at blackwolfcustomglockshop.com. Lewis or Louis, whatever his name is. This is what I'm trying to get out to you guys. I want to spread the word on this. Watch the videos below. Make up your own mind. I'm not saying everything in here that Ed is portraying is fact. Okay? I'm not trying to slander anyone. But after doing some of my own research and actually talking to this guy online and in a forum myself, I've come to the conclusion that this guy is either an idiot and just has decided he's not going to make good with the customer, or he straight up took advantage of this guy from the start. He straight up took advantage of Ed from the start, screwed him over, knowing he was going to keep the AR-15, knowing he wasn't going to be able to fix the Mosin the way it was supposed to be, and knowing he wasn't going to give him the $350 back on that consignment deal. I don't know which one it is. Either way, it's really bad, and I want to get the word out on this because this is a shitty business. Don't do business with him because he's either stupid and you don't want to do business with him, or he's a crook. I don't know which. But those are my findings, and that's from talking to this guy myself, okay? But again, watch all the videos below, make your own judgment. If you're someone or know of someone who might be able to help Ed out, please do something. If you can make a video on this because it, you know, tugs at your heartstrings like it did mine, please do it. That would be awesome. If you live in that area, okay, he lives in the Florida area, I think Palm Springs or something like that. I don't know what area. And this guy, Louis, whatever, this custom Glock shop is in the same area. If you happen to know this Louis guy and you think you can talk some sense into this guy and just get him to make it right with the customer, make it right with Ed, just give him his AR-15 back. You already ruined his Mosin. That would be awesome. So anyway, that's it, guys. I know this video's been long, but I wanted to get this information out, and I really, really hope you guys watch this because I would really appreciate it. I really want to get the word out on this. I want to spread this as much as I can because I want to help Ed out because I don't like seeing people, especially here in the gun community on YouTube, getting screwed over when it's completely unnecessary. So anyway, that's it, guys. I appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you later.